So I'm here to talk about an overview of the Safe Spaces Act or Republic Act number 11313. So in addition to our existing anti-sexual harassment law or RA number 7877, Congress enacted this law which is known as the Bawal Bastos Law or the Safe Spaces Act. So it was signed into law last July 15, 2019. This law is focused on stopping gender-based sexual harassment to achieve equality, security, and safety of all persons, not only in private but also on the streets, in public places, in cyberspace or online, and especially in workplaces, including training environments and also educational environments. So, particularly, there are four categories of gender-based sexual harassment acts or prohibitions. The first is in public spaces or public places, including the streets. And the second is in the workplace. The third is online or in cyberspace. And the fourth is in training or education environment. So I was told to focus mainly on the application of the Safe Spaces Act as to the media or its role in society. So under the law, media practitioners, as already discussed by RD, should first is media employers should post in conspicuous places a copy of the law so that everybody in the workplace will be aware of it. Second, it is recommended that in our reporting, in our media activities, we use gender-neutral languages. It's already expounded by R.D. Carbayas, R.D. Rene. And then we have to note that any content that is in violation of the law, in terms of media practitioners, the media company, including its editors, reporters, may be held liable, criminally liable, as well as administratively liable under this law. So it may entail the revocation of license, the revocation of their media licenses, payment of fine. So that's the overview of the Bawal Bastos Law or Safe Spaces Act.
Okay. I would like to open the floor to questions from our friends on the media. See, Gandhi, then
Attorney, do you have any data on how many media practitioners na ang nakasuhan and convicted so far in violation of the said act?
As to this law, because this is only effective last 2019, so we have no actual data as to convictions yet. There may be pending cases already in court or in the offices of our prosecutors for filing of the information in court. But as to convictions, we have no actual data yet. But as soon as we get some, we will forward.
What are the challenges in terms of implementation of this act?
The act, everybody is encouraged to implement this act because this is applicable even in public spaces. So meaning it's applicable in the streets. So whether you know somebody or not, to implement this law, we have to be aware, and also those who may be victims of violations of this law should find courage to report the incidents involving the violations so that people will be deterred from doing the violations. Kasi they will see that the laws are really enforced and people are not afraid to enforce their rights under the laws.
Focusing on the online aspect, since we have four categories as you said, ano po yung challenges doon, especially when it comes to the yung respondent is using a dummy account or something like that?
Yes, that's why.
How do you prove that in
We have technology, existing technology, and we have particular persons who are trained to do cyber patrolling, online cyber investigations. Under the law, online violations are referred to the PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group because they are the ones equipped with what do you call this, technology. There is a certain program that would give them sensitive data or information as to the username, user account. So, and also, even ordinary, let's say, evidence, like for example, people know this account to be used by a certain person. So, let's say, a person has account ABC, but his real name is X. So, if other people sa tinamban mo or if not involving PNP cybercrime, people can help. Those who know that X is usually the person behind this ABC profile. So and also the usual challenges, he said, is that actually the matter of attribution. Who is the one behind the online account? Who is the one who has access to that online account? Because that's the one that's usually difficult to prove when the case is already brought to court. Because you have to prove that via reasonable doubt.
Yes, attorney, especially when the evidence is inadmissible because of, it's only, the evidence is only, screenshots.
No, okay, screenshots are actually admissible. You just have to yes, you just have to authenticate them. So how did you obtain this screenshot? What account did you use in obtaining this screenshot? How many who took the picture of this screenshot? When you printed it, where did you print it? How many copies? It's just a matter of authentication actually.
When can we say that the evidence is inadmissible?
Rules of court says it. So an evidence is inadmissible if it's not allowed by the rules of court. For example, if somebody is incompetent to talk about it. So, example, I have a screenshot and you happen to know this person, but you are not the one who took the screenshot. So you have no personal knowledge about how the screenshot came to be. But you may corroborate as to the person of the perpetrator behind the account in case you are friends or you know for a fact that he or she is the one behind this account. You can corroborate. But as in terms of authenticating that particular screenshot, it should be the one who took the screenshot to process it and until it reached the court. So we're actually not hopeless.
Kay Fiscal, karon no nga medyo nag-tone down na ubang mga broadcasters karon with their sexist remarks no after na naisang nasampulan diri sa Davao City. I think ako na katong mga kusog kayo nga mo ingon ana nga mga komentaryo napaminaw na ako nga nag-tone down sila. Right now ako attorney no, since ang is prison correctional lang ang ilahang penalty for that 2 years and 4 months. Okay.
Namang-gutay ka ng hierarchy of your na nag-commit kag offense. Tapos depende po siya kung asa ni mo gi-commit. So dili siya ka ng uniform penalty na maugid ni prison correctional gud siya 6 months and 1 day to 6 years with siya dili. Kanang naagod siya hierarchy kung first offense nimo ang limit commit kahit sa public first. So it depends on the place. Yang element niya is the acts plus the place.
Okay. So despite sa inyo na nga medyo mubo lang ang penalty for them no, dili gid sila mabulok gid sa prisuhan jud. Pero unsa bay tan-aw ninyo nga chilling effect nga dili na nila nibuhatan og usab?
Well, ang chilling effect is the possibility good of incarceration or being put to jail plus the payment of fine. And also the fact na if you continue to commit it, kamatagam sa imong first offense, the penalty gets higher.
Mapriso na po
Pero dili lang po yun tayo. You also think of the offender, person po ba yan siya? He is also capable of changing himself, siguro, being rehabilitated. So, let's hope more for that rather than ipapulok na to sila sa kulungan.
Mamugun na usay itong tawagan ni fiscal kaning kuan nga gusto nila mabulok murag ilahang honor and dignity napakaulawan
Ang sa victim.
sa victim.
But honor and dignity is also relative in relation to to the accused, diba? Meaning, you must also prove your reputation and the damage that was caused to you. It also entails the presentation of evidence. Hindi po pwede nga, na-hurt lang pa, feelings lang hindi mo ang basis. Kaya labi na pag we prosecute or we bring the case to court, we have to present evidence.
So, if ever ba nga makonvict ka, sabi mawala si mo attorney fiscal. If ever na makonvict ka, aside sa mong kuan, liberty.
Of course,
If you are
if
convicted.
you are a practitioner, for example, media practitioner, your license to practice your profession as a media practitioner may be revoked or suspended. Tapos, of course, you may be adjudged to pay a fine. So, money, kung nabita ka ron, nag-isod ka, yung bayad pag kag fine, so, kung bayad pag kag fine, diba? So, and then, imprisonment, karon kung dili gyapon ka ma-discourage ang Ginoo naging mahala siguro nimo.
Wala dili ba siya mawalaan og kaning yang civil rights niya nga since murag ma-consider siya is a crime involving moral turpitude.
Even civil rights. But if you're incarcerated and there's an election, ang civil rights most probably na dili mo ma-practice is the right to vote. Because you can't be
dili sa
present.
kaboto.
Kung mapriso ka. Pero as I said, Manggod, graduated ang penalties. Ang first offense, usually, kay ipaseminar lang kag gender sensitivity training, plus fine.
But once you are convicted,
Yeah, even if you're convicted. Because the law provides the penalty. I-graduate ko niya ang penalty. Meaning, nagatuo ang balaod nga, siguro naman, gender sensitivity training, nagugka sa first offense pa lang nimo. Di na siguro ka mo balik, uguhat, karon kung gusto siya gihapon ka, malingaw ka, testingan yun ang balaod, naapod siya sa second penalty, dito na ay imprisonment or fine, or pa siya. Yeah. Pagka man, kung di ka matagam, napagi third level, which is imprisonment and fine na.
so what if na nasa sa level since convicted naman tong isa ka kauban na mo.
Wala mo kung personal knowledge ani may sa kauban ko, they didn't
Na-convict na siya.
Unsa ang second charge sa iya, ha?
Same.
No, where? Where did he commit it? Workplace, public space?
Online.
Online. So, second charge na niya. Then,
I think first,
so this kana siyang problem. It's difficult to talk about a pending case, sir.
hindi siya pending, convicted na.
Yeah, pero kung wala mo siya gibuhat karon, so convicted siya, I don't have a copy of the decision, sir. I don't have a copy of the decision. So, naana dito, sir, ang decision. Unfortunately, I cannot speculate on unsay may
So it depends on the court, the decision of
Yes,
the court.
so convicted na siya, it's written in the decision. So you cannot ask me, hindi mo na ko ang judge, sir.
So ano na ba, just a warning lang sa mua na, well, kanang gusto gud malingaw gud na mag-story ang mga binastos tapos
As I said, sir, graduated ang penalty. I already mentioned kung saan ang penalty.
Okay. Well, huwag nilang paborito, especially itong mga seniors na mo.
I hope makamatngon na. And I hope na we cultivate goodness and kindness in ourselves na dili kita mo maghulat nga na ay penalty nga worst case scenario nga. Unsa gusto jud nato nga ang penalty patyon ka just because you malign or sexually degraded somebody. So naara din na sa tao. Laws are meant to deter us from doing violations against the rights of other people. Pero kung dili gud ka ma-deter, di ko patubag po dun sa ang mahitabo sa imuha. But the law provides for a graduated penalty, sir. So, first offense na ay particular penalty. Second offense na ay much worse na penalty. Third offense, mas bigay ang imprisonment, mas bigger ang fine. Sa inana lang siya ang naasan mo.
Pero, ano ba siya na-case sa fiscal, kwan ba siya? Tawagan probationary ba siya? Pwede ba siya maka-apply probation?
Depende sa imong violation. Okay. Pwede mo ka mag-probation good pag below 16.
Any other crimes na amang due process no para mga yugtabang, but given sa context ng Philippine society na medyo low paayo ang awareness ng mga tao when it comes to harassment, sexual harassment, etc. Namay ka ng murag pamaagi na mas madali ang katong pangayo og tabang ng mga victims from filing to up to mag-reach ang court.
Sorry. The process of filing a case is process ng siya. So, ang mapadali, if you want it na mapadali, you should magkahin ka nito panahon, hindi mo o ka ng presence. Ngayon mo hagin na siyang atubangon. Tapos, the law also provides for a hotline. Natay hotline. But we are supposed to have a local hotline and a national hotline for violations of the Safe Spaces Act. So, tapos also to make other people more aware, we have to do more of this. Information drives, campaigns, tapos mupapa dito sa level, mas sa barangay, sa student levels, kaya even minors can be victims, and also even minors can be perpetrators of, unlike the anti-sexual harassment law, it requires for a perpetrator to be liable na siya moral ascendancy. Pero kani siya ang ato ang Safe Spaces Act, even if you are inferior or you are at par, peer level lang mo, basta gibuhat nimo niya siya, you have violated the law. So I think that one, we have to post copies of these laws. We have to give info materials, mga information materials, disseminate information materials about them, share what we know about this law to as many as we can to make them. Actually, ma-search lang kung mag-research mo, you can search ready PowerPoint presentations and also materials, resources about this law. Mag-YouTube lang mo, i-search na ninyo or sa Google na search engine or whatever internet-based search engines you have. Galit na lang ay people are making information available through online naman.
So what makes it different when it comes to treatment sa balaod, ma'am? Siguro kasi of course merong yung sexual abuse, may rape, etc. With this kind of law, sa atong treatment ani para mas maengganyo yung mga victims na mga tabang. And at the same time, siguro in Region 11, kasi since napasa siya in 2019, dili kaayog yung taas ang awareness. Even for example, in the media industry, daming bastos na kanang nahimo siyang norm gani, and ang treatment sa isa't isa, yung sexual jokes etc., it's a norm. Yet wala gyud kaayo nagaduol sa korte para mahimo siyang ma-weaponize ang balaod towards ani. In Region 11, ginaunsa na, aside ang nga forum, ginaunsa nato nga mas padako pa ang awareness, pataas ang awareness.
For that, I can only speak for my workplace, not the DOJ. We have yearly gender and development seminars. So that's for us. And then, kung naay mag-request, whatever na topic na about the laws, we can cater to it. We can give lectures on this kung naay mag-request.
Siguro ma'am, sa kanang last na lang, sorry sir, asa ang gap nato ma'am sa kanang kakulang masyadong mataas yung cases ng sexual harassment cases na normalize.
Do you have
I mean,
statistics?
on a cultural level, ma'am, yung pagiging yung normalize ng bawa catcalling, yung ganyan, pero masyadong low yung awareness naman ng mga tao na ay ito pala ay pwedeng magsampa ng kaso kapag pa sinabi pa lang uy, ang ganda mo, pwede kang i-rape pag nag-comment ganyan sa Facebook, it's a violation of the law. Pero hindi mo makikita or hindi mo mabasa sa news that there's someone actually filing it, especially in Region 11.
Because these are confidential cases. It's not supposed to be mabalandra sa media. Anything about these cases is under the protection of confidentiality mo na. So, general lang siguro yung makita, yung particulars kung sabi nila ang reklamo, kung siyang ebidensya, because this is covered by confidentiality. Pero as to kung asa sila padulong or asa sila makapangayog tabang, we have the Public Attorney's Office and we have even the OJ. So, yes, we have YACBAT na hotlines, kanang interagency na mga efforts to curb crime. And this is also a criminal violation or an act. Just like any other act, we are against it and we are working hard to prevent it and also punish the perpetrators. So, kana lang. And also, again, we cannot do it by ourselves. We also, now that you have been informed of the Safe Spaces Act, its overviews, we ask also for your help to help us relate it to others. Mao gani na, kamay lang nakabalo. So, each of us has a duty to tell others about what we learned today.
Sorry, follow up ko lang very quick lang. Ano yung mga common reasons why are these, cases in violation of Safe Spaces Acts ma-dismiss siya? What are the common reasons? Aside from, can you elaborate on aside from meeting the evidentiary standards?
Well, hopefully for now, we will no longer have cases that are dismissed at the courts level because the DOJ has been implementing DOJ Department Order DC number 21 on case build-up. So unlike before, if you decide to file cases, file ka lang, bahala ka, i-decide na lang ng prosecutor based on what you filed. Now, when you file a case, the prosecutors will evaluate what you have that you filed for us, and at the start, we tell you ano yung kulang mo na evidence. And you have to comply with this or that. Now, after having told you about kung ano yung kulang, it's on you whether you will continue to file it despite the fact na kulang siya or you will adhere kasi maglista ang prosecutors niyan kung ano ang result ng evaluation. So, hopefully, late or now onwards, we will have lesser cases dismissed kasi at the level of the prosecutor, we will ensure that we have enough evidence, we have prima facie evidence with reasonable certainty of conviction in our hands before we decide to file a case in court. Now, if other than that, if the most reasons for dismissals are sometimes the witnesses, because cases are not heard overnight. Sometimes it takes months, years. Sometimes the complainants choose to abandon the case or simply we have no enough evidence. We have to prove, we have to show proof beyond reasonable doubt. So we have to present evidence that can show the guilt of the accused in court. So it's not enough na, like as I said, pwede na, ma-hurt lang you take but you have no evidence. So we have no way to go kung ala lang imuhang basis. So as I said now, don't worry about it kasi there's case build up. So in case build up, the prosecutor will help the complainant, will tell the complainant what to look for and present in evidence. So that's the improvement for now because of DOJ DC number 20 and also DC number 15 and 28.